morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Wednesday morning. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday morning. I've got a few things to talk about this morning. I want to briefly talk about the Delphi case. I want to talk briefly about Alec Murdoch, and then I want to concentrate on a missing person out of Arizona called Chelsea Grimm. I did a YouTube short, I actually did a TikTok, but I put it on YouTube, about Chelsea yesterday, but not many people saw it, so I want to give her some coverage. She's been missing since last sighting was September 30th, so very, very, very concerning. First of all, Delphi case. Yesterday I did a video about a man who allegedly, according to a local called Julie, jumped out of the woods around the same time that the killer would have been leaving the scene of Abby and Libby's murder. And I had a lot of comments, the vast majority of people saying that they'd never heard this story either. No, neither had I. That's why I talked about it. It was news to me. But you see, in the early days of the case, and still is the case now, I'm not in any of the Delphi Facebook groups. I'm in very, very few Facebook groups. I'm not a massive Facebook user. I have my own group, and if you want to join it, the link is in the description box. But I'm not a massive Facebook user, so I'm not in any of the Delphi groups, so this just passed by me. However, I was aware that there were other people on the trails that day. It was unseasonably warm for a February in Indiana. It's a well-known hiking trail, lots of people out. So how the killer, whether it's Richard Allen or anyone else, got out of there without being seen, I've no idea. But hey, that was his problem. Some other people, though, said they had heard of it before, and the woman whose claim it was, someone called Julie, was considered a liar. The families don't like her, or she's had argument, or whatever, but that she's a liar and don't trust her. So that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is that, and maybe the most likely, perhaps, is that this couple, who Julie claims saw the man jumping out of the woods, saw someone, but it was nowhere. The killer was cleared in the early days, and that's why that person isn't in the PCA. I think that's probably the most likely. But you know, when locals talk on social media, you know, we've seen this in the Summer Wells case. They're very polarising. Some people say they're lying, some people say they're mistaken, and then some people will believe anything that a local says because they're local. I mean, look in the Summer Wells case, we've had Jodie Sue and the scream. Was there a scream? Was she lying about a scream because she's involved in Summer's disappearance in some way? Was the scream something else and Jodie Sue's mistaken? We don't know. Look at Fred Hill. Look at some of the things he said about Andy Bernard being on Ben Hill Road at 3:30 or so on the day Summer disappeared. Andy Bernard says he wasn't and he was at work. Don Wells said the cops have told him that Andy Bernard's not involved because it's proven that he was at work. It's very polarising and it's very confusing. So I understand that, you know, people who were in these Facebook groups in the early days of the Delphi case, listening to what the locals had to say, became very polarised. So I'm not saying in any way, shape or form that what Julie said is true. It's just something I'd never heard before. And, well, why have I never heard it before? So, yeah, that's that. Before we leave the Delphi case, though, I'll just refer you to this little video that I made over on Michelle Walks yesterday. And I did voice comparisons between Richard Allen, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall and Ron Logan with Bridge Guy. So we don't know for sure that Bridge Guy, this is Bridge Guy, was the person that spoke the words guys down the hill, but a Bridge Guy, someone on that bridge, spoke the words guys down the hill. Who is it? And the comments to that video are really, really telling. Really telling. Why are they telling, Michelle? Well, they're telling because everybody thinks something different. right? Some people think it sounds more like Ron. Some people think it sounds more like Brad. Some people think it sounds more like Richard. And a lot of people thought it sounded more like Patrick. And I don't think it's a match for any of them. Now, the Guys Down the Hill is distorted. It's been increased in volume. It's got background noise. It's not a perfect recording. And we've only got a very small clip of Richard's voice.
There's the word show coming up. There's the word show coming up. There's the word show coming up.
What if the man who spoke that audio on Libby's video isn't any of those four? Because a few people, and I'm inclined to agree with you, a few people said that it's 5 different voices. Before we leave the Delphi case, so 3 days ago now, I put this poll on my community wall. And those of you who said you don't know how to find the community wall, if you just go to the channel homepage and go to community. All right, so these are the results of the poll. In your opinion, based on evidence to date, do you think Richard Allen committed the Delphi murders? 2.6 thousand votes, so quite a good sample size. 26% said yes, he's guilty and acted alone. 53% said he's guilty but others are involved as well. And 21% said no, he's an innocent man. There's your reasonable doubt right there. So although, 79% of people thought that he's guilty in some way, shape or form, transpose that to the 12 people on the jury. How many is 21% of 12? Well, it's around 2.4. Knowing what we know now, and bear in mind that the jury are going to hear a lot more information at the trial than we've got to date, but if this result stands true, between 2 and 3 jurors are going to have reasonable doubt. That's a hung jury. Interesting, isn't it? All right, before we move on to talk about the missing person, Chelsea Grimm, just a quick update on the Alec Murdoch situation. So, Alec Murdoch, you know Alec, you know him from South Carolina, the one who earlier this year, after a 6-week trial, was convicted of the murder of his wife Maggie and his son Paul. Well, he's appealed. But there's a little bit of extra intrigue to this because a little while ago, a few weeks ago now, there was an allegation of jury tampering or improper jury communications when the clerk of the court has been accused of telling people to vote Alec guilty and make it quick. And if you're a smoker, well, you got to be quick because if you want to smoke, you can't. It's been approved that the appeal of the case has been paused. Instead, what Alec wants is an evidentiary hearing with the prospect of getting a new trial. So that has been approved. Not a new trial. No, don't get me wrong. He's not getting a new trial, as of yet at least. Who wants a new trial? Hands up, who wants a new trial? I mean, it's horrible for Maggie's family, but who wants a new trial? Not because I think he's innocent. I want them to find him guilty again, so he can just shut up. This is what his defence has said. The recent ruling to stay the appeal and remand the case for a hearing on Alec Murdoch's motion for a new trial is welcome news. We intend to proceed expeditiously and seek a full-blown evidentiary hearing addressing the serious allegations pertaining to improper jury communications by the clerk of court. Dun, dun, dun! Well, I hope there's an evidentiary hearing. I think there probably will be an evidentiary hearing. I think there'll have to be. Judge Newman. We get a little bit more of Judge Newman. Who doesn't love Judge Newman? Come on, he's great. He's great. All right, let's now talk about Chelsea Grimm. So this is 32-year-old Chelsea Grimm. She last spoke to her parents at the end of September. On the 24th of September, she set off from her home in San Diego, California, to drive 42 hours across country to Connecticut to attend a family wedding. She was initially meant to fly, but she's recently adopted a bearded dragon. Can't take the bearded dragon on the plane, so wanted to go across country. She's not like a survivalist or anything, but she has camped before, so parents not unduly concerned. A few days later, they got an email from her saying that she wasn't going to make it to the wedding. Well, it comes out that she's only got as far as Arizona, like between 7 and 8 hours away. It appears that she met a friend of hers in Phoenix, and then she was caught on police body cam on the 28th of September. Someone had called this in, so it was at night, and she's there in the dark. The police officer approaches her and asks her if she's okay, and she's been crying. Now, she says that she's been crying and she didn't want to drive off because she'd been to Williams Cemetery. So she was in Williams, Arizona. Williams Cemetery, there's statues of the fallen soldiers, and she'd been photographing them. She's an avid photographer, got all the kit, right? It's emotional, upsets her, but she's okay. He asked her if she's been smoking marijuana earlier in the day. She said yeah, but she's okay to drive. He didn't see any impairment, so that was that. On the 30th of September, the very last sighting of her was near Flagstaff, Arizona, so quite near Williams. Her phone, though, hasn't been used since around the 29th of September. So, the 4th of October, her parents reported her missing. The day after that, her car, white car, was found on a service road, kind of near a wooded area, northeast, I think, of Ashfork, Arizona. So, it's all around the same area. Right? She's not going very far, like Williams, Flagstaff, Ashfork. So, hunters found this car on the 5th of October, called it in because he thought it was strange. You know, I don't know, been there a while, unusual place. Police investigated, realised that it was Chelsea's car. So, got in her car, and her camping gear's gone, her phone's gone, her bearded dragon's gone, her camera's still there. So, camera, expensive equipment, probably leave that in the car if she intended to camp. Is she in the woods somewhere camping? That's a possibility. Well, searchers have combed a 3-mile, I don't know if it's a 3-mile radius, but all around that area, that woods, you know, they've had the drones, they've had the helicopters, they've had all the stuff. Can't find her. So if she's been camping, she's not been camping in the immediate vicinity. So where could she be? Well, it's interesting because the car had 2 flat tyres. So, had she got 2 flats? It's unusual to get 2 flats, but did she have flat tyres? She brought down, she called someone to collect her. Because she's been in that area for a few days. So, was she meeting someone in that area? And who's that person? Now, her parents said she'd recently had a breakup with her boyfriend who she was scared of. But that person, that boyfriend, has been spoken to. So I don't know whether he's been cleared or whether he's a suspect. I've no idea. But she's not in the best mental state. But they don't think that she would go away somewhere and hurt herself. But if she's gone away somewhere and hurt herself, she's not done it in the immediate vicinity of her car, or else presumably she would have been found. So has someone picked her up? And where is she now? Is she having a mental health crisis and she's hiding out somewhere to get better and someone's looking after her? Or has there been foul play? But if you're in the Ashfork, roughly, area of Arizona, look out for a bearded dragon. Because this bearded dragon has to be somewhere as well. Where's the bearded dragon? Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. I'll see you very soon in the next video.